264 BC. Plague spreads through Legio III. Attrition tears through the legion's ranks, and what should have been a victorious period for Rome instead becomes one of uncertainty and delay. But Rome cannot afford hesitation. Legio III is ordered south toward Roma to prepare for a crossing of the Tyrrhenian Sea, while Legio I and II remain in northern Italia, securing Rome's growing influence towards Cisalpine territory. Yet the war with the Etruscans is far from over. In Alalia, a new army begins to form, the Champions of Latinus. And with Legio III weakened by disease, Rome may no longer possess the strength needed to destroy the Etruscan League quickly. 263 BCE. Classis I is driven back by Etruscan resistance, while the fleet known as the Winds of Ani patrols the Tyrrhenian Sea, watching Rome's movements closely. For the first time, Rome considers peace. Diplomats are sent in hopes of ending the conflict before it spirals further out of control, but the Etruscans refuse all terms. The war will continue. Nearly a third of the legion has been lost to the plague. The campaign is beginning to slip from Rome's control. Legio III is given time to replenish its losses, while Legio I marches south to join them in Roma. Together, the two legions prepare for a coordinated assault on Alalia, in the hope of ending the Etruscan threat permanently. (260 BCE). Rome makes its move. Two Roman legions begin crossing west toward Alalia. It is a bold gamble, one intended to end the war in a single decisive campaign. But Rome has misunderstood the enemy's intentions. As the Roman legions sail west, the Champions of Latinus sail east toward Italia itself. Neapolis appears to be their target. Rome now faces a dangerous choice. Turn back and guarantee the safety of Neapolis, or continue west and destroy Alalia before the Etruscans can reinforce it further. Rome once again chooses aggression. The legions continue westward. It may prove to be a costly mistake. (258 BCE). The consequences of Rome's decisions are becoming clear. Legio II, remaining in Ariminum rather than marching south earlier, now appears to have been a major strategic oversight. But Rome cannot retreat from its objective now. Alalia must fall. Legio I, Legio III, and Classis I launched their assault immediately upon arrival. The attack begins at sea as Roman transports rush toward the shoreline under pressure from both the Etruscan fleet and the city garrison gathering along the coast. The Etruscans hold the advantage. But carefully hidden Roman cavalry strike quickly along the flanks, disrupting enemy skirmishes and buying precious time for the first Roman infantry to land and form defensive lines on the shore. Astarte absorbed the initial Etruscan assault, while reinforcements continue landing behind them. The battle becomes a desperate struggle to maintain the beachhead long enough for Rome's full strength to arrive. Slowly, the Roman line stabilizes. More reinforcements pour ashore. The Etruscan resistance begins to collapse. Alalia falls to Rome, but victory comes at a dangerous cost. While Rome fought in the west, the champions of Latinus marched on Neapolis. Neapolis cannot be saved in time. Legio II expands its ranks in Roma while waiting for reinforcements from the west, but the city's garrison understands its situation clearly. Survival is unlikely. Their task is no longer victory, only resistance. Skirmishers stationed near the shoreline attempt to weaken the approaching enemy before the assault begins, but the defending Rurari and Levi troops are quickly overwhelmed. Only the experienced Principes manage to hold the line for any meaningful length of time. But numbers alone decide the battle. Neapolis falls. It is a devastating blow for Rome. The Republic's growing military machine had relied heavily upon the wealth of a united Italia, and now the treasury begins to strain under the cost of maintaining 3 full legions. Rome's objective becomes absolute. Neapolis must be retaken immediately. Failure is not an option. 257 BCE, the Etruscans make a fatal mistake. Rather than fortifying Neapolis, the champions of Latinus abandon the city and begin moving back west toward Alalia. Legio II advances immediately. With no nearby settlements or armies remaining to reinforce the Etruscans, Rome understands that this may be its best opportunity to reclaim the city before enemy support can return. The battle itself is little more than a formality. Overwhelming Roman numbers quickly crush the weakened garrison as cavalry sweep across the flanks and velites drive back the remaining defenders. Neapolis is reclaimed with minimal losses. But the war is not yet over. The champions of Latinus still sail nearby, and Legio II alone may struggle to withstand another full assault before reinforcements arrive. It becomes a race against time. Fate favours Rome. The Etruscan forces fail to secure a crossing and refuse to launch a direct naval assault against Neapolis. The delay gives Rome exactly the time it needs. 255 BCE. Reinforcements finally arrive. The Roman legions converge around Neapolis as the Etruscans prepare for one final attempt to reclaim the city. The odds now heavily favour Rome, but complacency could still prove costly. The Romans establish defensive positions around the city's choke points, while velites prepare volleys of javelins against the advancing enemy. The Etruscans commit heavily through narrow avenues of attack, allowing Roman skirmishers to inflict devastating casualties from protected positions behind the lines. When pressure begins mounting on the Roman left flank, Principes and cavalry quickly move to stabilize the defense before the enemy can exploit the breach. Slowly, the Etruscan assault loses momentum. Exhausted Hastati rotate out of the fighting as fresh Principes reinforce the line and begin driving the enemy backward. Roman reinforcements arriving later in the battle seal the outcome entirely. The Etruscan line breaks. The battle is over. and with that, the Etruscan threat is finally destroyed. The war that had threatened Rome's control over Italia has come to an end. But victory has come at significant cost. Maintaining 3 Roman legions has strained the Republic's treasury heavily, and Rome must now consolidate its growing territory before further expansion can be sustained. Yet Rome's ambitions have not diminished. Throughout the Etruscan War, the Veneti repeatedly sought diplomacy with the Republic, and each time, Rome refused. The conquest of Cisalpine territory remains essential. Beyond it lies the rest of the European continent, and Rome's ambitions are only beginning.